Hey, it's Don Duran with NSI Solutions. The Seam Phantom 2.0 has been out for just over a year, and today we want to show you how to replace some of the most common wear and repair items. So, first one, now if you had an old Seam Phantom, especially the air, this plate would wear really quickly against the aluminum guide. The new guides have plastic strips, so the plates don't wear anywhere near as fast, but this one's probably 2 years old, and it's starting to get just the slightest crown wear here, and a little bit high in the middle. We're gonna go ahead and replace that. All you need is an 1/8" Allen wrench. Pull these screws out. There's the obligatory hand. Removed one. I'm going to use this to remove the rest. Save the screws. You can reuse them. Pull this off to get it out of the way. Now on the 2.0, there's no O-rings or anything like the old electrics. Just a plastic plate. Buy a new one on our website. This is the spray shield. You're going to want to put that back in the exact same spot. If I wasn't making a video, I'd wash that. They can always use with a good cleaning. You don't want to over torque this and crush the rub plate where the screws go in. I'm actually not even tightening them up with this. Just put them in. End ones go through that spray shield. Again, 1/8". I'm just gonna snug them down by hand. There we go. This side never wears out. This is obviously a deluxe. We've already replaced the trigger in another video. You can find that if you need that. The wheels, if people drop them and break a wheel, they're also quite easy to replace. 5/32 Allen wrench. You take that screw out of the top. There's a washer there. Save that stuff. And then it just slides out the bottom. Now, the one trick here is on top of these, there is a very small, what's called a bearing shim. You want to save that and put that back on top of the wheel. So the axle goes back in. Now, if you're replacing the axle, it'll come just like this with an axle and a washer and a screw. Usually nothing goes wrong with the axles. You put it the side with the slot in the bottom there where it's recessed. The bearing shim on. That's the important part there. Slide that up and then put your screw back in. Much simpler than the old ones which used aerospace highlight. So that's the wheels and the rub plate. Now the other parts that get replaced occasionally are the adjustment screw and the nut. The adjustment screw, if someone drops their Seam Phantom and gets it and bends it, then they'll want to replace it. Oh. So with the deluxe, it's a little bit complicated because it's harder to take completely apart, but we're just gonna unscrew it until it doesn't unscrew anymore. Pop off the E-clip. And this piece should slide right out. Now, take note of the washers. There's some very thin shim washers that go on the outside, as well as a thicker washer up against the E-clip, and then another thicker washer when you put it in on this side. You want to keep the shim washers away from the slots for the E-clips And if there's 2 on there when you take it off, you want to have 2 on there when you put it back. If there's only 1, which isn't very usual, you want to just have 1. The idea there is those are used to limit play in this assembly down to less than 5,000. So that's out. Let's go ahead and take the nut out, and you're just going to have to pry it out. So the adjustment nut is an assembly of 2 parts, a brass nut and the red part is a housing. We run these through a roller to gauge the size, but they spring back after they're installed. So that's what makes them like anti-rev. When you get one, more than likely it'll fit very tight. You should probably do this in a vise. These are completely smooth jaw pliers. You can take and just compress the nut into the plastic a little bit. Go slow. See, it didn't take much, and that will push right in. And you want it to be pretty tight, and you want the brass part touching this side of the fitting. You want the brass part towards the operator, not the other way. A new screw comes with all new E-clips and washers, like I said. We're just going to take off the one E-clip, the one washer. Now we're leaving a thick washer and 2 shim washers on, which is exactly what you took off. Slide that back in. Slide the washer on. And then you can actually start screwing it together so that you can get to the slot for the clip. Just clip it back on. Slide that into the groove. Once it snaps in, it's back in. You've already engaged the nut, and it's good to go. The light is very, very similar. There's only 2 wheels, of course, and none of the springs or anything, and no trigger, but the rub plate, wheels, adjustment screw on the light is all the same. If you are having issues with any other parts or something you're not understanding, shoot us an email at info@NSISolutions.com. We read those every day. We do answer them. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever, ring the bell for more of this kind of content, how to repair, how to use, new tools coming out. And we will have a new video soon using your Seam Phantom 2.0, the best way to use it, all the new features, light and deluxe tight lines.